my name's Nina. I'm just a switchy with an English degree, and today we are going to get into the titular lyrics of the Tortured Poets Department album. We're going to talk about the Tortured Poets Department song, and we're going to get into it, and there is a lot to talk about. Conway Kitty is here, and he is ready. Now, let's start with the titular song, the Tortured Poets Department. There is a lot here. This was the song, I mean, it's number 2 on the album, but this is the song where everybody really realized that this may not be what we thought it was. So let's get into it because there's a lot to go over. I also just say that I am obsessed with how the song starts. The dun, 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 dun. I mean, it's just so, it like demands your attention, right? You left your typewriter at my apartment, straight from the Tortured Poets Department. I think some things I never say, like who uses typewriters anyway?
I think some things I never say, like who uses typewriters anyway, but
who do we know who uses typewriters? Let's think about it.
But I really like typewriters as well. I don't have one with me because that is really impractical. And the thing is with typewriters and writing on
with pen to paper, there's a kind of an element of like commitment that goes with the ceremony of it.
therefore it requires you to concentrate a bit better.
So I think it's important to have a book. So it's mainly like stories that I write about my dreams of being in love with other pop stars.
So while we're still reading lyrical tea leaves here, I do think that we can assume that the person who she is referring to here who uses typewriters anyway, even though they're impractical and pretentious, is Matt Healy.
The Tortured Poets Department, this song tells me or reads to me like a song that she wrote about almost like her secret insecurities that she was feeling with this relationship. Obviously, this just in this first stanza, we're talking about a typewriter, and she knows that this is pretentious. She says, who uses a typewriter anyway? She knows that there's a little bit of pretension here, but you're in self-sabotage mode, throwing spikes down on the road. But I've seen this episode and still love the show. Who else decodes you?
seen this episode and still love the show. Who else decodes you?
What is so interesting to me in this part of the song is who else decodes you. To me, this is more than just a person knowing you inside and out. It's like decoding a cipher. Like this person is intentionally trying to trick you, but you can decode it. And to me, that seems very intentional. Like this person is intentionally trying to hide things from you, but you are so good and so attuned to them that you can decode anything that they're trying to hide. Self-sabotage mode, throwing spikes down on the road. But I've seen this episode and still love the show. And who else decodes you? To me, this just means that this person is, they have a history of self-sabotaging relationships, self-sabotaging things that are good for them, and this person knows it. I think that this song is really about insecurities that she's having because, you know, she's talking about the pretension, she's talking about being in self-sabotage mode, but she is reaffirming to herself that, but who else decodes you? Like, who else actually knows you? And that's like what she goes back to. Who else decodes you? If this song is about Matt Healy, which, you know, we're still reading tea leaves here. We don't know exactly what Taylor is feeling in any of the songs that she writes. But if this is about Matt Healy, we know that Matt Healy has definitely had a history with self-sabotaging situations. He has been to rehab. He has had drug problems. And we see this also reflected in this song later on. So keep that in mind. If the song is about Matt Healy, it definitely does fit. Who else decodes you? And who's going to hold you like me? And who's going to know you if not me?
Who's gonna know you if not me?
And this is why this song to me just feels like so many insecurities. Like, it's like she's questioning, like, and who's going to know you if not me? Like, but no, I decode you. Who's going to know you if not me? And I think that there was a part of her that never really trusted this. And I think that we're seeing this in this song. See more of this pretension repetition with this next part of the stanza where she says, I laughed in your face and said, you're not Dylan Thomas. I'm not Patti Smith. This ain't the Chelsea Hotel. We're modern idiots.
I laughed in your face and said, you're not Dylan Thomas. I'm not Patti Smith. This ain't the Chelsea Hotel. We're modern idiots.
And she's essentially saying here that they need to take themselves not so seriously. They are pop stars. I think that they're changing the world, but she thinks that they are not Dylan Thomas, not Patti Smith, and they need to stop pretending like they are. I think that she is laughing in the face of this pretension. She doesn't think that they need to take themselves so seriously, and honestly, I kind of love to see it.
For anyone curious, and because I am just a Swiftie with an English degree, Dylan Thomas and Patti Smith both lived and wrote at the Chelsea Hotel. Other literary figures who wrote at the Chelsea Hotel are also Jack Kerouac and Bob Dylan. It's a very popular place for writers to write. Also, Dylan Thomas wrote the poem Do Not Go Gently Into That Good Night, if you're familiar with that. Patti Smith wrote the book Just Kids, and look at what she just recently said since Tortured Poets Department came out. I love this clip.
Well, I have a small confession to make. I am no Dylan Thomas, but I am Patti Smith.
And then we see that once again she repeats with, and who's gonna hold you like me? Nobody. No fucking body. Nobody. So once again, I think that there's insecurities here. You know, she's essentially saying we need to be not so freaking pretentious. We're not Dylan Thomas. I'm not Patti Smith. We're modern idiots. But who's going to hold you like me? There's a very interesting back and forth here where she's dealing with feeling secure in this relationship, I feel like. If you're feeling secure in your relationship, and honestly, this just depends on when she wrote the song. She may have written this song when they were on the outs, but if you're feeling secure in the relationship, are you going to continuously repeat, and who's going to hold you? Nobody. No fucking body. Who's going to decode you? I mean, she's just continuously repeating this over and over. So I think that there is definitely a level of insecurity. And now we get to one of the lines that is talked about so freaking much, and I'm so excited to talk about it. But you smoked, then ate 7 bars of chocolate.
You smoked, then ate 7 bars of chocolate. We declare Charlie Puth should be a bigger artist.
A lot of people are like, what? But remember, if this song is talking about Matt Healy, which we do think that it is, the 1975's most popular song is Chocolate. So you could say that he smoked, then ate 7 bars, which musical bars, of chocolate. I think that it's just a clever hide for who the song is actually about, because he smoked and ate 7 bars of chocolate, which is their most popular song, because he's the frontman of the 1975. We declared Charlie Puth should be a bigger artist. I scratch your head, you fall asleep, like a tattooed golden retriever.
I scratch your head, you fall asleep, like a tattooed golden retriever.
The call out to Charlie Puth here is interesting. I scratch your head, you fall asleep like a tattooed golden retriever. Admittedly, like a tattooed golden retriever might be my least favorite Taylor Swift lyric of all time. I hate to even say it, but I just don't like it. I don't know if it's because I have a golden retriever and I'm just like, no. But that's my least favorite line. And that's just a fun fact about me. Absolutely love this song. It doesn't bother me at all, but just that specific tattooed golden retriever, I'm like, I'm not vibing with it.
One guess, though, as to who is very tattooed, though their golden retriever status may be in question. It's Matt Healy. It's always Matt Healy.
And now we get back to the self-sabotaging of the song, right? But you awaken with dread, pounding nails in your head. But I've read this one, where you come undone. I chose this cyclone with you. And who's gonna hold you like me? And who's gonna know you like me?
I chose this cyclone with you.
So again, it's this self-sabotage, right? He's awaking with pounding in his head. She's saying, but I chose this cyclone. Who's gonna know you like me? Who's gonna decode you like me? Who is gonna hold you like me? And it's just, there's so much insecurity with this back and forth here that it just breaks my heart. But I really feel like every time his mood would shift or he would go into self-sabotage mode, she would become terrified that everything was changing and would go back to, but who's gonna hold you? Who's gonna know you? Who's gonna love you? Who's gonna decode you?
Sometimes I wonder if you're gonna screw this up with me. But you told Lucy you'd kill yourself if I ever leave.
And now she's essentially admitting that she does think that he's gonna screw it up with her. She says in the song, sometimes I wonder if you're gonna screw this up with me. But you told Lucy you'd kill yourself if I ever leave. And I had said that to Jack about you, so I felt seen. Everyone we know understands why it's meant to be. 'Cause we're crazy.
Everyone we know understands why it's meant to be.
And of course, Lucy here is rumored to be Lucy Dacus, who is a member of Boy Genius, which is a band with Phoebe Bridgers, who, opened for Taylor and is friends with Matt Healy. And of course, Jack is Jack Antonoff, who is a producer who works with both Taylor and Matt Healy.
So I just feel like she's feeling so insecure. She's seeing all of these signs, but she's trying to reassure herself, right? She is saying, but this is what he said to Lucy. He said that he'd kill himself if I ever leave. And that's how I feel. And I said it to Jack, and they understand. Even if the entire world doesn't understand, the people who actually know us understand. And I feel like this is also a callback to the sense of fatalism that she has mentioned about this album, that she felt like things were predestined, that she was meant to be with potentially Matt Healy. She talks about how you know, she felt like she was in the best place of her life.
Like, my life finally feels like it makes sense.
And remember what's happening around the same time period, right? She is dating Matt Healy, it goes public, and then her fans come out with Speak Up Now, which is essentially a petition begging her to break up with Matt Healy. Imagine if you're Taylor Swift and you feel like Matt Healy is your one that got away. He was the one that was always destined for you when we had a fling with him, supposedly 2014, 2015, whenever that was. Imagine that you get a second chance and then your fans, the ones who have given you the life that you love, tell you to take it away. I mean, imagine that. Imagine that. Like we don't know her at the end of the day, right? And I feel like some people forget that. We do not know Taylor. But in this song, she is clearly saying everyone we know understands why it's meant to be. So take from that what you will. Now it flips. And now my heart breaks because the next line is, so tell me, who else is gonna know me? Because not only is she trying to reassure him that she knows him, that she can decode him, that she understands him, but she feels like he understands her. And if he is having doubts, and if he is living in this cyclone, and if he is self-sabotaging, who's gonna know her if he leaves? Now, break your heart with me a little bit further as we read further, because the next line is, at dinner, you take my ring off my middle finger and put it on the one. People put wedding rings on, and that's the closest I've come to my heart exploding.
Put it on the one. People put wedding rings on.
And imagine this, if this song does take place and it's within the situationship or whatever was happening with Matt Healy. She has just gotten out of a 6-7 year long relationship, and him putting a ring from her middle finger to her ring finger is the closest she's come to potentially marriage. I mean, she says that she died on the altar waiting for the truth from Joe. So I think personally that Taylor has wanted to get married. That's one of the things that she has wanted, and she's wanted somebody to want her. And we see that when she says that she wouldn't marry her either, and you're losing me, when she says, I wouldn't marry me either, a pathological people pleaser. She feels like people don't want her, which is insane to me. I mean, it's just incredible to think that Taylor Swift feels like nobody wants to marry her. My heart breaks for her, and this song just has so much in it, and I just feel so bad. This cat's name is Luna. Luna, do not knock off my vinyl. This is Luna. She was trying to climb up the chimney. Okay, cats, right? Then she goes back to, who's gonna hold you? Me. Who's gonna know you? Me.
Who's gonna know you? Me.
And you're not Dylan Thomas. I'm not Patti Smith. This ain't the Chelsea Hotel. We're two idiots. Who's gonna hold you? Who's gonna hold you? And that brings out the song. But pay attention here, because this whole stanza here changes, right? Because she says, who's gonna hold you? Now it's me. Who's gonna hold you? Me. It's just like a constant reminder that I can decode you. I'm gonna hold you. Who's gonna hold you if not me? Something interesting also at the end of the song I want to point out, when she is saying, who's gonna hold you? Who's gonna hold you? It changes and she says, who's gonna know you? Gonna troll you. I find this use of gonna troll you very interesting, and I don't know if that's just because for me, when you troll somebody, you do so on the internet. And if you look, which this may just be because I'm compiling a video about Matt Healy and Taylor Swift, but if you look up through their history, the number of times that Matt Healy reached out to her through internet and just like tagged her and stuff kind of makes me feel like he was trolling her a little bit. Like he kept reaching out to her. So to me, this almost feels like a play on that, like, who's gonna troll you? You left your typewriter at my apartment, straight from the tortured poet's department. Who else decodes you? Is how this song ends. And I just absolutely adore this song. I think there is so much good information to dig into here, especially if you're interested in the lore of it all, with the whole Matt Healy, Joe relationship, situationship, whatever was going on with that. I think there's so much pretension with the typewriter situation and the fact that she calls him and her tortured poets, you know, in this whole situation. And what do you think? What do you think she's saying in this song? What do you think that the inspiration for this song was? And also, I would be interested to know, when do you think this song was written in the timeline? Because that is honestly the thing that I wish I could have most when analyzing all of Taylor Swift's lyrics, is just like, give me the date. So many emotions go past other timelines, and I just wish I knew. I wish I knew the date. Taylor, if you want to let me know, you know, slide it in my DMs, are always open for you. But let me know in the comments what you guys think. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. I would love to be able to talk to you about this more.